Sure, Michael.
Mike.
Absolutely. Matt Klier, he's the owner and lead instructor for Active Shooter Defense School. He's a 12-year Navy veteran. He was a CB, current law enforcement sergeant, SWAT member, and he's an avid competition shooter, and a really great guy. Matt, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. Thanks for coming on. So tell us a little bit about your background and your experience.
Well, I'll tell you, you just about covered it. You know, I was a CB in the Navy, and I was pretty lucky to be assigned to the SEAL teams there, and they needed mechanics, and I screened for it and was approved, and I ended up spending the majority of my career over here on the West Coast SEAL teams, deploying with them and having a good time doing what we do. And following that, I went on to be a police officer, sergeant currently, and competition shooter. Like you said, you kind of covered it.
Well, thank you for your service in law enforcement and military. That's fantastic. I really appreciate it. So Active Shooter Defense. Sure, thank you.
Oh, thanks for paying your taxes. You know, without you guys, we couldn't do it. You know.
So Active Shooter Defense School. Tell us what you guys teach, and tell us a little bit about Active Shooter Defense School.
Well, we host open enrollment courses monthly for civilians, and we do a lot of law enforcement and military contracts also. But once a month, twice a month, we'll have open enrollment for anybody who wants to come out and learn how to shoot. And we teach modern day gunfighting. You know, there's several terms that they use to call it. We like to call it combat shooting. It's just kind of covers what we're doing. But I don't know how long you guys have been part of the firearms industry, but through the 80s and 90s, we kind of lost touch with what it really took to fight with a weapon, close quarters or even long range. And everybody was so kind of stuck in this marksmanship category. No big conflicts through those times. You know, we kind of lost touch with Vietnam because we kind of put those guys on the shelf when they got back and didn't really listen to what they had to say about how to fight rather than just shoot a bullseye. And there's a big difference. There's a big difference. I'm not saying that marksmanship doesn't have its place, but there's a whole nother avenue that you need to go down to learn how to adequately defend yourself, whether it's with a pistol or a rifle shotgun. And that's what we're giving to you guys, modern day kind of cowboy crap, if you will. And there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. And the wrong way will get you in trouble really quickly, and the right way is what we teach.
And so that's why learning what you teach is important right there, because there's a wrong way to do it and a right way to do it. And like you said, if you do it the wrong way, you could get in some real serious trouble. Absolutely. And it's not really a nice thing, but the benefit that we have is we've been at war for the last 17 years or 16 years now. And Iraq showed the inadequacies of what we were teaching broad spectrum in the military. Interesting.
And so the Special Forces units always kind of had a handle on it, but that's 1% of the military. And you start throwing a bunch of Marines and Army guys out there, Navy also, and they're stuck in this marksmanship mode, which actually is detrimental to keeping you alive.
Now, what's an example? Is there an example you can give of
Well, mostly something everybody could kind of relate to is if you see somebody draw from the holster and their first shot is around the 2-second time frame, they're aiming in and they're sighting in. Unfortunately, you can't process your sight picture as fast as you can pull the trigger. So somebody that really knows the techniques that we teach is going to shoot from the holster in under a second, and it's going to be accurate. It's just not going to be using the sights in the traditional manner that we know of lining them up with the bullseye. And that's people call it flash sight picture. They call it point shooting. I like point shooting. It's kind of got a bad rap along the years of what it is and what it actually is versus what it isn't. But I do like the term because it's easy to understand.
So you're talking about also getting an accurate, your first shot being an accurate shot and as well as a quick shot.
Absolutely. We will have students showing up, and after day 2 of never touching a firearm, they're right around 1 second, 1.2 seconds on headshots out of the holster.
Wow.
And if you can do that consistently, your time's gonna go down as you practice, obviously, and that pretty much translates. You can get them down into the 0.8 of a second on the full body, center mass shot.
I've heard it put that if you're in a gunfight, you only have the rest of your life to get an accurate shot.
Right, and if you're an honest taxpaying, citizen, you're always on, or even a police officer, you're always on the defense. Even overseas. I mean, very little did we actually set up ambushes, in the traditional Vietnam manner. And, we went on contact patrols and we went out and we looked to pick fights, but we were usually on the defense when it happened. The snipers obviously not, but for the majority of the military that was over there, we waited till we got shot at until we shot back. And at that point, that next 1.5 seconds of your life is the most important. And that's, anything that any average citizen, concealed carry holder, or home defense situation is going to encounter, that's all they have to react. And that's what we focus on, that first 1.5 seconds.
So how do people sign up?
Easy, ASDschool.com. And our schedule is posted usually a few weeks ahead of time. Our next open enrollment course is September 16th. We are teaching a close quarters battle course, which we would like you to have some training before you show up to that. Obviously, you need to be pretty fluid with your weapon before you show up to do some sort of close quarters battle training. We also have, on the 16th, we have a women's only pistol course taught by Danielle Pinkston, and she's my better half.
Okay.
She puts on a great course with women only, and what that allows is it keeps the husband or the boyfriend from being overbearing and keeps them out of the mix, and she does a great job with that. And then we are also kind of debating between a rifle marksmanship course and a combat pistol course. But either way, we run 3 courses on the same range, same day, 3 individual bays, so nobody's tripping over anybody.
Right.
We have 3 different instructors out there, and we keep a low ratio. If we have 10 students, we'll have 2 instructors out there.
All right. Website one more time.
ASDschool.com.
All right.
Yeah, I do want to thank you too, Matt, for at our annual dinner at the Hotel Del. You were generous enough to let us auction you off, and I just really appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for your support.
Hey, no worries. I mean, what you're doing, Mike, is awesome, and any way we can support you, just let me know.
Well, great. Now you're going to get auctioned off again next year. Nice going, Slick.
No problem.
All right.
That's easy.
All right, buddy. Hey, one more time, the website.
ASDschool.com or Active Shooter Defense School. If you just Google it, it'll come right up, or you can Google Matt Klier, and all that happy stuff will come up with it.
All right, Matt. Thank you very much. Be safe, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break, but hey, don't forget, gunsportsradio.com, gunsportsradio.com, facebook.com/gunsportsradio, and Gun Range San Diego is our sponsor. Did we tell you? We'll be back in a moment.
Without someone doing something about it, it's not going to get any better.